In recent days, former United States President Donald Trump made global headlines. He declared that Antifa should be labeled as a major terrorist organization. But what exactly is Antifa, and why has it sparked so much debate? The word Antifa comes from anti-fascist, a term born during the rise of Nazism. Its roots go back to 1930s Germany, when fascism threatened Europe's future. Courageous groups rose up, determined to resist Adolf Hitler and authoritarianism at all costs. For them, silence meant submission, and resistance meant survival. After World War II, anti-fascist ideals spread across the globe, inspiring new generations. In the United States, Antifa took shape as a decentralized network of activists. There is no single leader, no formal headquarters, no membership cards. Instead, Antifa is built from loosely connected individuals and groups across the country. Many identify as anarchists, socialists, or radical left-wing activists. They see themselves as defenders of human rights and enemies of oppression. Antifa opposes racism, anti-Semitism, sexism, homophobia, and every form of social intolerance. Over time, Antifa became most visible during street protests and counter-demonstrations. One of the earliest flashes of mainstream attention came in the early 2000s. Groups marched against neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and extreme right gatherings. But their biggest spotlight came during Trump's presidency. In 2017, violent clashes erupted during his inauguration in Washington, D.C. Later that year, in Charlottesville, Virginia, Antifa confronted white supremacist rallies. The world watched images of young anti-fascists clashing with far-right extremists. In 2020, after the death of George Floyd, protests exploded nationwide. Trump accused Antifa of orchestrating violence, even without solid evidence. Federal agencies, including the FBI, argued Antifa is an ideology, not a formal organization. Still, Trump called it dangerous, radical, and destructive to American society. On September 18, 2025, Trump renewed his calls to declare Antifa a terrorist organization. He even suggested investigating those who might be funding their activities. But here lies the legal controversy. The U.S. has no domestic terrorist organization list. Foreign terrorist designations exist, but applying them to U.S. citizens raises constitutional questions. Critics warn that labeling Antifa as terrorists could erode civil liberties. It could also give the government power to suppress legitimate protest movements. For many scholars, Trump's push is as much political as it is legal. They see a strategy to energize conservative voters and discredit left-wing movements. Supporters of Trump, however, argue the opposite. They believe Antifa uses violence, destruction, and chaos disguised as political protest. To them, labeling Antifa as terrorists is a matter of national security. The truth may lie somewhere between ideology and action. Antifa itself is not a unified army, but individuals within it use aggressive tactics. Sometimes members break windows, burn property, or clash physically with extremists. They argue these actions are defensive, not offensive, against the rise of fascism. But does defending freedom require violence, or does it undermine democracy itself? That's the question dividing America today. Antifa is not new, but its name has become a political weapon. Trump and his allies use it as proof of radical left chaos. Meanwhile, progressives argue that targeting Antifa threatens the First Amendment. The debate extends far beyond the streets. It raises questions about democracy, freedom of speech, and the limits of protest. Can a decentralized movement really be crushed by laws and designations? Or does suppressing it only fuel more resistance and anger? History shows that ideas rarely die with labels. The anti-fascist spirit survived the Nazis, survived dictatorships, and now confronts modern threats. Trump's words may resonate, but they cannot erase decades of resistance. What comes next is uncertain. Will the United States harden its stance and legally target Antifa, or will courts, activists, and citizens push back against restrictions on liberty? The outcome could shape the future of protest movements in America, and it could define how democracy handles radical opposition in times of division. For some, Antifa represents courage against tyranny. For others, it embodies chaos and destruction. But one thing is clear. The debate around Antifa is far from over. The movement, decentralized and elusive, will not disappear overnight. And Trump's war on Antifa will remain a central issue in American politics. As observers, we must watch closely, ask questions, and think critically about these events. Because history teaches us that freedom is fragile and power always seeks to expand. The question is, who will define the future, the state or the people? Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Trump is right to label Antifa terrorists? Or do you believe this move threatens democracy and freedom of expression? Leave your opinion in the comments. Your voice matters. If you found this video informative, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep analysis like this, and share this video so others can understand the truth behind Antifa and Trump. Together, let's keep the conversation alive.